Greetings YouTube! This really sucks because we're having parts of the house painted and carpeted for the next week or two, so this is going to have to be a quick review. Sorry, but no me prancing around in front of the camera acting like an idiot for this one. Dragon Quest Builders 2. I didn't even know about this game until about 4 days before it came out. I went in completely blind. I gathered from the box art it was a block building game, probably another open world sandbox where you do what you like whenever you like. It really isn't. Okay, it is about blocks and it is open world, but it has a story, it has quests, it has characters. You can run around, ignoring the quests and do whatever you want, but you'll miss out on a ton of good stuff if you do. You're accompanied at almost all times by Malroth. You are the builder, he is the destroyer, and the two of you embody the odd duality that sits at the heart of the game's story. The children of Hargon believe that building is the worst kind of sin possible. Can you believe it? And have set out to destroy everything and erase the idea of building completely. You wash up on the Isle of Awakening, which serves as a central area where you will build a new home. To that end, you'll have to visit the other islands to bring back people and resources to make that happen. The first main island you'll visit is called Furrowfield. Here you will learn the basics of building and the ways of the farmer and field. Put a scarecrow down to make a standard square field. Fence off an area and put a scarecrow inside it to make an irregular shaped field. Crops can have different growing conditions. Cabbages and wheat can simply be plonked down wherever. Sugarcane, tomatoes, not so easy. There's a trick to certain crops which is easy to do, provided you know what the trick is. Don't worry, the game will tell you what the tricks are. The room system is very complex, but you're introduced to it bit by bit. Enclose an area with 2 tile high walls and put in a door. That creates a room. To give the room a purpose, certain furniture must be placed inside it. For example, placing 2 beds and a light source creates a basic bedroom. Adding farmer's tools and firewood upgrades it to a farmer's bedroom. Now that's important because residents of a town, whenever they do something, generate gratitude. That's those hearts that spill out all over the place. When you have enough gratitude, ring the builder's bell to level up the town. You'll gain access to a host of new recipes for objects that'll let you advance further. Even though you can add rooms like bedrooms, a toilet, a bathhouse, a barn, you're under no obligation to provide facilities for the townspeople. This isn't a survival game. They won't starve if you don't feed them. They just won't generate as much gratitude, and you'll be waiting ages to get to the next set of recipes. Not everything is a room though. Sometimes you'll make furniture sets that don't need walls to enclose them. Dining tables, for example, are a simple supper set placed on a table. Some designs you'll have to figure out on your own. The kitchen is responsible for making food for the townsfolk, and dining tables are where they eat the food. So I thought to myself, hang on, wouldn't it be easier if I made a really big kitchen and just put the dining tables inside it? So I did. And it created a cafe. The game didn't tell me I could create a cafe, I just created a cafe. Once you've returned to the Isle of Awakening with some recruits and materials, you can set about transforming the place into your own island paradise. Before you go to the second main island, it's a good idea to check out the Explorer's Shores. Lots of farmable resources await here that can be taken back to the Isle of Awakening. Also, if you examine a sample of something on one of the lists, it checks the item off the list. Complete the list and you get an infinite supply of a basic crafting material. It can take a while to find them all, but you'll be glad you did later on. The second main island is called Currumbledon, I think. The home of the miners who dig for precious metals all day and drink all night. They do get to sleep eventually. Locate some veins of ore down in the mine, and the miners will bring back a haul of metals at sundown. You get a share, meaning you don't have to go mining yourself. Leave it to the experts. There are no voices in the whole game, which means you will have to do a ton of reading, so be prepared for that. Sometimes it does get a bit much though. Yes, I know, shut up so I can get on with it. Ugh. By the way, if you do read everything, you'll discover the game has a saucy sense of humour. This town has an obsession with drinking in bars. As a result, you'll end up building no less than 3 of them. But check this one out. It's completely outdoors. A collection of furniture sets grouped together. That's it. You can get really creative with this system because it's so flexible. Every so often, the town that you're in will come under attack. There's no structure you can build that will keep them out for long, so direct combat is your only option. Townsfolk who are combat ready will fight, as will your partner Malroth. It's a good idea to give everyone who can fight a decent weapon, which you'll have to build, of course. The rooms will now have something called fanciness, which is controlled by the style of blocks and furniture used to build it. Fancier rooms generate more gratitude. Again, bring back what you've learned to improve your island paradise. Rooms will now also have ambience, defined by the types of block and furniture used to build them. Yeah, this is why I said the room building system is complicated, but the mechanics are introduced slowly over the course of the whole game. You're not gonna feel overwhelmed. Don't forget to check out the Explorer's Isles before moving on. Try to get those lists finished. It only gives you infinity of one thing, but it's always a thing you use a lot of. The third main island is Moonbrook, land of never-ending war. Only the finest warriors and defences can be found here. Well, in theory. When you arrive, it's a bit of a shambles, and it's up to you to restore the kingdom to its former glory. Remember when I said there's no structure you can build that can actually keep out enemies? I was lying. Castle wall blocks are indestructible to all but the most powerful of opponents. And the frequency of monster attacks in this area makes going outside a risky business. Mind you, installing spike traps and lightning barriers, and then watching the hapless enemies charge into them never gets old. Oh, and I discovered the social bedroom as well. This game has a ridiculous amount of content and a very lengthy quest line. I've sunk around 35-40 hours into it, and I still have a ways to go before the end. And despite that, I've still only discovered a quarter of all the possible room designs. I tried building a bathroom at one point, but it didn't quite work how I'd hoped. I don't even know if it's possible. I'm going to give Dragon Quest Builders 2 a 9 out of 10. When I saw it was a block building game and it was 50 quid, I thought, oh god, this game is going to expect me to do all the work and be hugely overpriced, isn't it? It's a golem-sized game. It's massive. Not just in sheer size, but content as well. And to think I nearly didn't buy it. I'm so glad I did. It's not as monstrously huge as Red Dead Redemption 2 or Persona 5, but it's well worth 50 quid. A couple of the quests are a bit deceptive. One requires you to build a grove of trees, except it doesn't. It needs you to grow one tree and then hang a swing from it. The other says you get gladiolus seeds from the oasis. You don't. The scorpions drop them. I've often struggled with Minecraft. You only get out of that game what you put into it. And when it comes to block building, I'm not that creative if I'm being honest. This game is constantly teaching you new tricks. The first 2 hours especially will feel like an overly long tutorial. Stick with it. If you like block building but want more structure than your average sandbox, this is the perfect game.